How I'm Fighting Depression Part 2, Practical Applications. So here's an update on my Burns Depression checklist results. I actually scored a 10 compared to last week where I scored 30. So that ranks me as now normal but unhappy, which is a hell of a lot better than moderately depressed. In this video, I'll go through 7 practical ways you can combat depression. Just pick your symptom from the left column of the list and try the corresponding technique that I'll go over in the video. There are 7 more techniques for more symptoms in the book Feeling Good, so if you would like to learn more about them, you can read the book yourself. I highly recommend the book, and you can order it from Amazon or get it through Audible in the description box below. Number 1. The daily activity schedule. Why is this simple activity schedule likely to be helpful? First, it will undercut your tendency to obsess endlessly about the value of various activities and to debate counterproductively about whether or not to do something. Accomplishing even a part of your scheduled activities will in all probability give you some satisfaction and will combat your depression. As you plan your day, develop a balanced program that provides for enjoyable leisure activities as well as work. If you are feeling blue, you may want to put a special emphasis on fun, even if you doubt you can enjoy things as much as usual. You may be depleted from having asked too much of yourself, causing an imbalance in your give and get system. If so, take a few days of vacation and schedule only those things you want to do. If you adhere to the schedule, you will find your motivation increasing. As you start doing things, you will begin to disprove your belief that you are incapable of functioning effectively. As one procrastinator reported, by scheduling my day and comparing the results, I've become aware of how I spend my time. This has helped me take charge of my life once again. I realize that I can be in control if I want to. Keep this daily activity schedule for at least a week. As you review the activities in which you participated during the previous week, you will see that some have given you a greater sense of mastery and pleasure as indicated by higher scores. As you continue planning each upcoming day, use this information to schedule more of those activities. Number 2 is the anti-procrastination sheet. You may be avoiding a particular activity because you predict it will be too difficult and unrewarding. Using the anti-procrastination sheet, you can train yourself to test these negative predictions. Each day, write down in the appropriate column 1 or more tasks you have been putting off. If the task requires substantial time and effort, it is best to break it down into a series of small steps so that each one can be completed in 15 minutes or less. Now write down in the next column how difficult you predict each step of the task will be, using a 0 to 100% scale. If you imagine the task will be easy, you can write down a low estimate such as 10 to 20%. For harder tasks, use 80 to 90%. In the next column, write down your prediction of how satisfying and rewarding it will be to complete each phase of the task, again using the percentage system. Once you've recorded these predictions, go ahead and complete the first step of the task. After you've completed each step, take note of how difficult it actually turned out to be, as well as the amount of pleasure you gained. Record this information in the last 2 columns, again using the percentage system. Number 3, the daily record of dysfunctional thoughts. This record can be used to great advantage when you are overwhelmed by the urge to do nothing. Simply write down the thoughts that run through your mind when you think about a particular task. This will immediately show you what your problem is. Then write down appropriate rational responses that show these thoughts are unrealistic. This will help you mobilize enough energy to take that first difficult step. Once you've done that, you will gain momentum and be on your way. Number 4, the pleasure predicting sheet. Over a period of weeks, schedule a number of activities that contain a potential for personal growth or satisfaction. Do some of them by yourself and some with others. Record who you did each activity with in the appropriate column and predict how satisfying each will be, between 0 and 100%. Then go and do them. In the actual satisfaction column, write down how enjoyable each activity really turned out to be. You may be surprised to learn that things you do on your own are more gratifying than you thought. Make sure that things you do yourself are of equal quality as those you do with others so that your comparisons will be valid. If you choose to eat a TV dinner alone, for example, don't compare it with the fancy French restaurant dinner you share with a friend. You can use the pleasure predicting sheet to test a number of assumptions you might make that lead to procrastination, including, I can't enjoy anything when I'm alone, there's no point in doing anything because I failed at something important to me, Since I'm not rich, successful, or famous, I can't really enjoy things to the hilt, and so on. A question that commonly comes up about the pleasure predicting sheet is, suppose I do schedule a number of activities and I find out they are just as unpleasant as I had anticipated. This might happen. If so, try noting your negative thoughts and write them down, answering them with the daily record of dysfunctional thoughts. Number 5, the but-rebuttal. Your but may represent the greatest obstacle to effective action. The moment you think of doing something productive, you give yourself excuses in the form of buts. For example, I could go out and jog today, but I'm really too tired to. I'm just too lazy. I'm not particularly in the mood. Fight back with a new rebuttal as shown, and continue this process until you've run out of excuses. Number 6 is the self-endorsement. It can be helpful simply to make a written or a mental list of the things you do each day. Then give yourself a mental credit for each of them, however small. This will help you focus on what you have done instead of what you haven't gotten around to doing. It may sound simplistic, but it works. Number 7 is the TIC-TOC technique. If you are procrastinating about getting down to a specific task, take note of the way you are thinking about it. These tics, or task-interfering cognitions, will lose much of their power over you if you simply write them down and substitute more adaptive talks, or task-oriented cognitions, using the double column technique. Thanks for watching, and I hope some of these techniques were useful to you.